Hello, my name is Decáte, and welcome to my channel. Welcome or welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a general reading for the sign of Gemini. I'm going to breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Just going to clear my mind and clear my energy and allow spirit to move through me and deliver whatever messages are needed to come up at this time. So if you like what you hear, click like, subscribe, share. And if you have been to my channel before, you know that I do mostly channel information and I talk about whatever it is that's going to go on. So today is December 24th in the day, so Christmas Eve day, early morning, like 2:11 a.m. Anyway, I already did a video for Gemini, only for some reason the sound didn't come through. I don't know what that's all about, and we're going to have to redo the whole thing. So, there's that. And I also want to apologize for not being here for a little while. I had a little bit of a concussion, so I was told not to have a lot of screen time. And so I was doing that, kind of resting my brain. Plus I was trying to learn astrology, so not completely follow doctor's orders. But you know, just doing what I need to do to get things done. And the reading that I did earlier was very intense. So we'll see what happens. I can't really remember what it is that I said and all the intricacies of what happened and everything like that. So I can't just come on and say what else was said. So we're going to see. There was a lot of information about walking away from things, whether it was a job, a relationship, walking away from things and starting over and having it be beneficial, and some people walking away for like health reasons, and just, I don't know, it really felt like you were moving in a really good direction, Gemini. And I really wish the sound showed up on that video. It was a really, really good video. I think that you would have liked it, but we'll see what comes up. All right, show us, spirit, what we need to hear for Gemini. Gemini. Show us what we need to hear for the sign of Gemini. So this is a Tarot of Mystical Moments. It's not the deck that I normally use, and all of the kings have a male and a female counterpart. So there's two kings in each suit, two King of Cups, two King of Pentacles, two King of Swords, two King of Wands, except that one is a male and one is a female. So you'll see as we get going and things unfold. What is this all about? All right, so that's interesting. This was actually in the last reading. The Eight of Cups has to do with walking away from things that no longer serve you. For Page of Cups, pages I use for communication. So talking about like emotional things. And then we also have the Knight of Pentacles, which can be related to the sign of Taurus. But I think that there's something going on here where you're walking away from things that no longer serve you and having communication about whatever your financial endeavors are going to be about. So, which basically makes sense with the other reading. Do you have the King of Pentacles here? So there is going to be wealth that comes up here, and also you have the Sun, which all these cards all showed up in the previous reading. So they're just in a different position. So you're talking about moving forward on some, we'll call it a financial mission, right? And it's interesting because you're going from the Knight of Pentacles, which is a lot about potential. I use Knights as potential. So we're talking about like potential around money, going into the King of Pentacles, which is the fruition of the whole thing. And kings are the most richest. King of Pentacles are the richest. They have the most like financial power kind of thing. And but the thing is that with this Sun sitting here, there's also going to be a lot of like healing coming up here. And this, the way that this is showing here is that things should be finalized, get going, you know, everything's underway, I would say, by the time we get to the summertime, because the Sun does come up connected to that. And we do have the Three of Swords here, and the Three of Swords, I'm glad all these cards are showing up because they are very much related to the last reading. This Three of Cups is the only card that wasn't here previously. So, like I said, they're in a different position, stuff like that, but they're basically reading the same. So, the Three of Swords talks about sorrow. Usually it's like sorrow due to lack of communication, heartache, miscommunication between people, things like that, right? And so this is kind of the situation you're kind of walking away from. And it's interesting because the Strength card is here, which is about your desires, but it's inner strength. So it's like you're able to be walking away because you now have the strength to be able to do so, right? And you're able to be talking about your emotions at this point. So to me, it's like you could very well have been being gaslit, so which is the same sort of energy that was showing up previously. It felt like walking away from kind of an abusive situation, whether it's like intentionally abusive or just not right for you, which could make it like abusive to you. But you're now having the strength to be able to walk away from some situations here. And I use the Three of Swords a lot of times. It comes up connected to Mercury retrograde. And a lot of people don't really use it for that, but I've seen it come up many times, maybe because I'm a Virgo and Mercury is also my ruling planet as well, same as you. And so yeah, we just came out of a Mercury retrograde. So you may have been walking away from things during this time period, and you see the butterflies on this card, which butterflies are related to transformation, right? And, you know, ladybugs are historically connected to love, right? So it wasn't clear in the last reading if this was a love relationship or if it was just about money, finances, and stuff like that. And potentially it could very well be both, right? But the Three of Pentacles is here, and the Three of Pentacles is about, it is a growth cycle. It is connected to work, whatever it is that you're working on. It's about classes, training programs, things like that. And a lot about like life lessons as well, right? And so you're really learning here about like your inner strength, how to deal with like sorrow, putting the sorrow behind you, moving forward to celebration. Three of Cups is a card about celebration and joy and things like that, getting together with like friends and stuff. And then you have the Ten of Swords over here. And Ten of Swords is, it's a lot about stress. It's mental, emotional stress. It's a lot about thinking that everything is going to turn to crap, basically. And but I think that that is this energy that you're being healed from, right? A lot of stress related to the money and finances, but it's one of those things with this like King of Pentacles sitting here, right, in this situation with this Ten of Swords. It makes me feel like this King of Pentacles here could very well have been a person who was being in your way, somebody who was telling you that you shouldn't do something, that you couldn't do something, and now you're coming to this place where you're like, you know what, like I can, and I don't know if I can, but I'm going to try anyway. I'm just going to do it, and you know, which is why there's this like walking away, and in the other reading, the Queen of Wands was sitting here, which is about owning your own power. So I think that there is a lot of that is trying to happen here, kind of stepping into your own shoes, trying to have, like, sometimes the Three of Swords shows up also about faith, right? Because it is connected to your heart, and it's technically it's an imbalance between your head and your heart, but your inner strength is sitting here. So I think that you're in the process of joining your head and heart, right? You have the Three of Pentacles over here. You have the Three of Swords over here. You have Three of Pentacles over here. So, you know, they're both threes, and threes are a number of creative energies. So you're having this faith, and I think that is a lot about the life lesson here that you have been learning, right? When it comes to, you know, classes, training programs, things like that, right? This is, you know, you may very well be enrolled in some sort of like class or something like that that's meant to bring you money, and you are heading in that direction, right? And but I have a feeling that you're just really kind of starting out on some new endeavor, and it does come across here as being like quite lucrative for you. So it's almost like you've been, it has all this like energy here about being shackled, right? It's like being like, I think that the Devil card was in the last reading, but the Devil card is a lot about self-imposed, what do you want to call it? It's a lot about a power struggle and limitations and restrictions. That's the word I was looking for. Self-imposed limitations and restrictions. And sometimes it's related to like drugs and stuff like that, which I was getting that information in the last reading, which some of you may have been involved in that, and now you're getting clean and like starting out and, you know, moving in a really good direction here. So that's good. King of Cups was in the last reading, right? You're walking away from somebody and having more like emotional kinds of like freedom here, right? And with the Knight of Swords, so things are going to start moving like quickly when you're walking away from this thing, right? It's like there's this communication here, and part of me feels like there can be a fear of things going like too fast, because it does feel like once you're making this decision to move forward, that things are going to go like kind of like quickly. You know, there's a rush of information that's showing up here. King of Pentacles twice. King of Pentacles male, King of Pentacles female. So and there's a Devil right there. So yeah, the limitations and restrictions. I think whoever this other person here, this other King of Pentacles here, I think that's the person who was kind of holding you back, right? But it's interesting because you're going from the Knight of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles. So it's like you're really stepping into your own, you know, your own kind of, what I want to call like your own kind of financial kingdom. That's what I'm hearing Spirit say to me. So, oh, this is interesting. interesting. Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords is like separation, right? To me, it's a card about separation. It is about choices. And but it's like you're separating because there have been these like limitations and restrictions, and I don't know that you would have like realized that there would have been these limitations and restrictions. And there was something about being blinded somehow or another, being asleep somehow or another, not being aware that you were in this like situation that wasn't really good for you. But somehow or another, you have woken up. So, see, King of Wands, again, like stepping into your own power. Three of Swords, like miscommunication, something like that, right? King of Wands a lot of times is connected to Leo, right? And Leos can be like charming. They can have a lot of charisma. I'm not saying that this person necessarily has to be a Leo, but it definitely feels like there is somebody that was, very charming, having a lot of like charisma. And the Moon card was in the last reading. So to me, there was some sort of like deception that was going on around there. Seven of Pentacles, right? Fear of failure, right? But this is also a lot of growth that's sitting here too. Like you can see, there's this big, huge tree sitting here, right? And the Star card sitting here, this is learning lessons about what your goals, dreams, and aspirations are about, right? You've been putting a lot of work towards this, or you're going to start putting a lot of work towards whatever your goals, dreams, and aspirations are about. And I will say this, that you are an air sign, right? And the Star card, a lot of times it comes up connected to writing. So if you do have any goals connected to writing, money, there's money and finances there that's connected to that. But the Star card is also connected to the sign of Aquarius, right? And Aquarius is ruled by Jupiter. So there's going to be a lot of luck here. There's going to be a lot of expansion. And, the Devil card is about limitations and restrictions, right? So it's about things being small. But the Star card, Jupiter, right? This is about things becoming bigger. So, and the Three of Wands. And there's the Moon right there, right? A lot of stress because of like things being hidden, right? Not knowing your own strength, not knowing your own power, right? And I think that like the Moon card in the last reading was sitting up here, right? So the Moon card is a lot about like deception. I think over the course of the last, like, whether it's the last like 3 years, whether it's the last like 3 months, something that this last period of 3, right? I think you've been looking for things, and I think that you thought that you found it in this person, and then realized that like that really wasn't going anywhere, or wasn't going the way you wanted it to go. And so the Two of Swords is a card about separation for me, right? But it doesn't necessarily have to be about like a physical kind of separation, but it's like you could stay with this person, but then, the relationship itself can change, right? And, but Spirit is like saying that that's probably not a good idea, especially because there are these cards that go on here that have to do with like gaslighting and stuff like that, and cards that have to do with deception and stuff like that. And, basically people like lying to you. So, the Ten of Swords that's like sitting over here is a lot about like stress. And a lot of times when it comes up, it's like having to get away from a situation for your health, for health reasons, right? And and in a lot of ways, like mental health. You know what I mean? So I definitely think that you're going in a good direction here. See, there's pleasure here. There's people from the past showing up around you, right? The Hangman. So the Six of Cups related to pleasure, people from the past, right? And the World card, right? The Hangman, changing your perspective around things from the past, right? And the Chariot card showed up in the last reading too. So there's this thing about moving forward away from people from the past, right? This is temperance or being patient around things. But again, the Temperance card is a card about healing, right? And along with the Sun, Six of Swords is a moving forward. So I would say that this has these indications here about, you're walking away. You could very well be going back to people from your past, right? But you really want to be careful about this kind of a situation. You definitely don't want to be going back to an ex. With the Hangman card here, it's a lot about changing your perspective around things, right? But it's also a card that can be related to like victimhood and stuff like that, right? Things being on hold, whatever. And so my feeling is that if you're being connected to, if people from your past are coming back around you, right? It's like the World card can come up connected to recognition, right? People recognizing you for your talents and stuff like that, right? But you could recognize that entering into a relationship, even a friendship thing from somebody from your past, could be a victim sort of a scenario, right? And just be careful around who, like if you don't want to be doing this thing about going from the frying pan into the fire, right? Because you have the Eight of Cups over there, which is about walking away from things that no longer serve you, right? You want to keep your head and your heart on like straight, right? Chariot card, moving forward, but in a more emotional way, but more balanced way, stuff like that, right? And the Chariot card has a lot to do with like leaving things behind, right? Leaving the city behind. But it's another card that comes up, same as the Moon card, right? About like trusting your instincts around things, right? And just the Temperance card is basically being patient, right? But it is, Temperance card is like Sagittarius, and so you may want to move forward like it could very well be somebody that's a Sagittarian around you that I want to say somebody that could like try to help you, but you want to make sure that whoever it is that is coming around you, that they're not like self-serving. And you want to make sure that they're not being needy, right? Because this Hangman card here, right, victimhood, somebody from your past being victim mentality, right? Like, so like they can come around you, be like, somebody from the past, like, oh, like I need you, right? If you're walking away from this person, right, they could be coming around you to be like, oh, I need you so much, like I need you, right? It's like, it's not true, right? You need to be taking care of yourself, not being concerned about this other person. If someone's being around you like, oh, I need you, right? It's like, it just feels like a lot of like BS to me. So, because it's like they're manipulating, they're gaslighting, right? Going to try to lure you back in, and then just, it's not going to be good, right? This is a time to take time for yourself, be patient, like continue on your healing journey, whatever that is going to be about. And see the High Priestess, right? Trusting your instincts again, right? High Priestess can be a businesswoman, right? High Priestess is also related to like therapy, stuff like that. So that could be something that's good for you as well. The Tower card is a tearing down in order to rebuild, right? This is a major reorganization going on around your life, and it's coming through you. It's coming to you through the spirit, right? And I want to say, the Tower, it's very much, right, like everything is falling down, right? But some people I know say, are things falling apart or are they falling together, right? Things are falling apart here. You don't know what the landscape is all about, which is why there is this like temperance thing going on around here, right? And just do what you have to do here to take care of yourself. I hear my teacher saying, if you were to give a friend advice, right, what would you say to that person, right? Kind of taking your own advice in that way, right? Which is another card that implies that you are like very intuitive, that you are a healer yourself. And, a lot of times when somebody is a healer, other people see that about them. And I've seen a lot of like YouTube videos where there are narcissistic people who latch on to people who are healers. And they use that energy for themselves, right? People who are empathic, and I think that that's a lot about what this is, right? And so you really want to be careful, like who is trying to be in touch with you, right? And we have this King of Wands and we have this King of Wands over here, right? So again, this like power, it's like you're looking to be empowered in your life, right? You have the Page of Swords, so there is another card here, communication. This is a learning situation, right? He's got his little like hat on there from the college, from graduation, stuff like that, right? And things moving from the past here. Seven of Swords, lying, cheating, stealing, right? And you're coming from this fear place, right? But this is the Empress, and so the Empress is all about like your creative energy, your it's related to Venus. So any kind of creative energy, like nurturing yourself, stuff like that. Go be in touch with, like nature, any kind of thing. Venus is like feminine energy. So anything that you can do creative, artistically, anything along those lines, right? This is kind of like, it also comes up connected to springtime energy, right? The Lovers, which isn't necessarily about a relationship, but it is about major decisions, but the decisions are being made from your intuitive self, right? So this is where you're at right now, right? And the Lovers is also ruled by the sign of Gemini. So it's like you're showing up here as yourself. And again, that's a kind of about self-empowerment, right? The environment sitting here is about the Emperor. And so you're moving into a place here where you're being in charge, right? That's what you're coming into a place where you're coming into control in your life. And I don't think that you've seen this energy for a long time, maybe since you were 6 years old or something. I don't know why that age, but that's what I'm getting. Right. Hopes and fears here, which is the Ten of Cups, right? So this is a relationship oriented like reading, and it's looking for the one, looking for like happiness, right? Looking for marriage, happiness, family, looking for that kind of connection, right? Eight of Pentacles, which is another card that indicates that this is a stepping stone. And again, you have all these butterflies here, right? So this is a card about transformation, and it would be an indication Eight of Pentacles is a card that talks about like focus on whatever it is that you want in your life, right? For you, not for other people, right? And again, there's this big butterfly here, right? But it is also telling me that it's also in the shape of a heart. So focus on like love, like self-love, things like that, taking care of yourself, right? And so the Eight of Pentacles, when it shows up, it's a lot about like, whatever ideas you have are on the back of your head, put those things into action over the course of the next 8 weeks, so basically the next 2 months, right? Which is why it's a stepping stone based card, right? And it shows up connected to work. It's Pentacles, so it's more related to work and stuff like that. So you are going in a good direction here, but it is important that I understand that you probably want to run. I want to go really fast. I got out of this like chained up kind of like situation, and like now I just want to be free and like want to run, right? But it's like you need to take your time, right? Because things are unfolding for you, right? A lot of things are not really like clear around your life right now, but I will say this, that by the time you get to your birthday, Gemini, right? So what's that? The end of May to the end of June, right? So by the time you get to your birthday, there's going to be a lot of things in play here, right? I'm being told here that there can be opportunities here for you to move. There's like, I feel like people are in a Saturn return here. So I don't know if I'm getting a lot of clients here or a lot of people listening that are around like 28, 29, but that would be a Saturn return. We don't have like the death card here. That is like, that's what that card is about. On the bottom of the deck here is the Ace of Swords, which is another card. The Ace of Swords is ruled by Mars, and so it is another card that is about, cutting, snipping, things like that. But it's a card about new ideas coming in around you, right? So, between now and the time period we get to your birthday, you're going to be meeting different people, stuff like that. And there's going to be a lot of new acquaintances, a lot of new people coming in around your life that will be able to help you, right? Maybe not like everybody, but there are going to be people that are coming in around you that are going to be helpful to you, whether they're just giving you advice about things. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're all going to be your friends and everything like that. You may just meet like an acquaintance here or acquaintance there, right? Have a conversation with this person, conversation with that person. It doesn't mean that all these people are your friends, but it's like there are these conversations that are coming up here is what I'm watching. And they're giving you direction on how to take care of yourself, how to put one foot in front of the other, how to get to be where it is that you want to be in your life, right? And just because I'm getting this energy here about, the age of like 28, 29, 30, somewhere around there, that doesn't mean that this can't be for somebody that is older as well, because there's another Saturn return that comes up around like 56, something like that. But like I said, it doesn't matter how old you are or whatever, this reading can resonate really for anybody. So depends on where you are in your life, depends on where you are, where you're waking up, and waking up, smelling the coffee, waking up, finding yourself, having epiphanies, like things like that, right? Wherever you're at in your life, it doesn't really matter. But this feels like a very awesome reading for you, and good luck with all of that, because it really does feel amazing for you. So, like I said, if you like what you hear, click like, share, subscribe, something like that, right? Leave a comment about how this is playing out in your life somehow or another. And good luck. Have fun. Ciao.